Welcome to ASCENT. I'm Fiery Grace the Gifted. I am very excited to be here with a reading for the Divine Feminine Collective. If you identify as a Divine Feminine, if you're maybe even not sure, but you just know you're a twin flame and you think that there's a reason you're supposed to be here, what's up? You are. There is some really interesting energy, really interesting downloads. I'm very intrigued right now. But what I've noticed is a lot of what's coming through is kind of hitting me in my ego. And I'm thinking, okay, if I, not because I'm so special, I'm grace, I'm magic. No, because if I, being kind of privy to a lot of information, working with so many twin flames around the world, privy to the patterns, you know what I mean? If I am even like, then obviously there are going to be others out there who either just from not knowing or again from being in their own stubbornness, misunderstanding, miscommunication with spirit, whatever could have happened. I do think that there is like a last ditch effort here to get through to us about something. And again, it's not because as divine feminines we're doing anything wrong. It's just because there's a lot on our plates, there's a lot on our shoulders. They don't want us to miss anything. They want us to be prepared. And I think that it's also because God has been very much aware that you have been left out in the unknown for a bit longer than you probably should have been. There's no lack of understanding there. And I think that the reward for whatever level of patience you were able to maintain throughout that is to give you a little bit of a boost, a little bit of an insight into what's coming. Okay. So I know this is random. It's a random time, by the way. What time is it where you're at? You know, I just like to know for some reason. It's always intriguing to see people say times that I would never have expected. But this is a weird time of day for me to even be doing a video. So I'm really more so intrigued now. Like, where are you? What are you doing? Okay. Let's bless and shuffle and keep going. I mean, look at this. Already. 10 of Cups carrying over from yesterday's reading with the Divine Masculine. Wow. Wow. 10 of Cups, the Lovers, the Emperor. That's 10. That's 2020. That's what it's... Hold on. One last. Yeah. And then... we've got a major carryover from last night. Okay. It's interesting because last night's reading, the Divine Masculine, really was speaking directly to the Divine Feminine. And now we have this message from Spirit. So I do get the sense, Divine Feminine, all eyes are on you right now. Okay? Again, you can take that as you will, but it's what it is. This is important. This is important. This is as above, so below. This is integration. This is extremely important. I'm going to hold off. Wow. Now we start with 10-10. Now we're at 9-9. Divine Feminine, do you see why you're needed? Whoa. This is underneath. The justice is underneath it all. Right. Wow. Energy really is continuing through. This is crazy. Wow, especially because justice is exactly what... Ooh, okay. One more. And the Knight of Wands. Okay. This is good. This makes me feel really good. 9911. Secondary alarm. What does that mean? Hold on a second. How do I search what that secondary alarm? I guess I'll just type what is. Okay. Secondary alarm notifications can help caregivers better understand and react quickly to clinical situations when they arise. Listen. Deliver near real-time critical alert notifications and waveform images to caregivers on mobile devices using advanced alert filtering to minimize alarm fatigue. What the hell is happening right now? This is a secondary alarm. This is something you have heard. This is something you've been on the lookout, you know to be aware of. However, just like we're dealing with pandemic fatigue where people are just tired and they're just not able to really respond and react like they're supposed to the information that's coming through. We're dealing with the economic fatigue where, the economy is just, you may not be able to tell, at least by American stocks, but the rest of the economy is just, right? You see all these different fatigues showing up, and now we're hearing alarm fatigue, as if to say the same type of response that you're seeing from your family and friends about all the stuff happening that in 2020, you're also probably going to be experiencing a similar for yourself when it comes to spirit. When it comes to why? Because you've been dealing with this spiritual transition and the same old messages and the same old alarm bells. You guys sense every time your divine masculine makes a shift, but because you put so much stock into those shifts, every time they backslide, so do you. And even if it's just in being worried and fearful and scared and whatever, it doesn't matter. You go back with them because you're trying to keep up and follow. And it's like, don't follow somebody who doesn't know where they're going. So you're getting this alarm again. And they're saying, look, what we're about to do, I don't know if it's going to be crazy syncs or something or what, but I get the message here from Spirit. What we're about to do is we're going to use advanced alert filtering to minimize the fatigue that you've been feeling about the alarm bells ringing for your light work, for your soul purpose, your mission, and your reunion. What the freaking heck? Guys, okay, let's go back to this. Wow. And we've got a sync from today, sync from yesterday. And this was in the Divine Feminines. And you know what? This is crazy. Okay, this is crazy because, okay, all right. First of all, 9191 really also kind of points us in the direction of that 1010. So we can see that there's a lot happening in this reading that's going to point to very specific instances in 2020, but also the closure that is happening as 2020 ends. It's not just the year. It's not just the energies. It's major. There's some big cycles closing. So if you remember, yesterday we saw the 9 of Pentacles and the Queen of Wands with the Divine Masculine energy basically saying, Divine Feminine, it's up to you. Whatever vision you had back in 2019, probably was planted in 2018, really came to fruition or feasibility, I think, it was available in 2019 to started in 2020, but then 2020 was like, pew! And so the expectation is for a lot of us, just give up, unfortunately. I don't know why, but it's just like, maybe it just wasn't meant to be. And again, not even about union, just certain things, certain goals, certain aspirations. Stop, go back, pick up where you left off at the beginning of 2019, at the beginning of 2020. Because whatever it is that you wanted, saw, knew to be right, knew to be the path, whatever it was, the Divine Masculine is going to turn to you the moment they're ready to go, and they're going to say, what's next? And you need to have the answer. So what are the odds that the 9 of Pentacles and the 9 of Swords show up here in the 5D, right? The calling to leave behind the nightmare, to live the dream, to live the life of happiness and joy and magic. And now we see it shows up for the Divine Feminine, and it says, do not choose the nightmare. This 9 of Swords is actually reversed. Do not choose the nightmare. Choose the inspiration. Go past the part of yourself that feels tired. Go past the part of yourself. I don't know why, but I don't know what I see someone running like a marathon, and I guess there's a point where you don't feel the pain anymore. That doesn't sound real, but for some reason, is that what I feel like? The runner's high is what happens after right? But what is it during the middle? Is there something that happens in the middle? I feel like I'm supposed to Maybe someone else can say this. But anyways, long story short, what I'm seeing is a cross-country runner who pushed past that, cramp or whatever, and then they're into this kind of free-flowing place. And this is what I feel that you're being asked to do, Divine Feminine. You might be saying, oh my gosh, why do I have to keep going? And it's like, DF, you signed up for a freaking marathon, not a half marathon, not a 5K. Why are you asking these questions? The same thing yesterday when I was talking about the Divine Feminine, not being ready, not in the sense of, choosing to not be ready by making bad decisions or something, but simply not being ready in the way that a cake isn't ready halfway through the baking process. It's like you're not doing anything wrong. And this race that you're on isn't longer than you think it is. You signed up for this. And so you need to get in touch with your deeper self and the part of you that's going to help you push past the cramp. And it's funny that we're talking about cramps. And again, labor pains come up. This is crazy. All right. Delays are over. Yeah. Okay. It's time to get to work, DF. It's time to get to work. And you know what's, it's going to stink to hear this, but then I think it's also going to be like, whew, thank goodness. When I say that it's time to get to work, you know what that means, right? It means that you weren't working. Now you're going to say, oh, how dare you? I was working. I did all my work. And it's like, whoa. Here you go again. You taking it and you assuming from a defensive position that someone that loves you, who's trying to tell you something important, is obviously just coming for you. I'm not coming for you. Get to work. You know what that means? The training is over. Okay? The period of waiting is done. I'm not telling you that whatever you were doing before wasn't work. It's important. It's valuable. But that was schoolwork. That was classwork. That was work as an assistant manager. Now you're about to be a manager. You see, it was just not what you thought it was. And that might be why it was so hard to enjoy it. Ugh, man. All right. What are the energies? What do we need to know? And look who shows up again. Queen of Swords in the 5D, 5D. Oh, Knight of Swords in the 5D and Seven of Wands in reverse. All of these are cards of a fighter, of a warrior. Seven of Wands, really, Grace? Yes, Seven of Wands too. This is really amazing. So, what does this mean? I believe that this means that there is a move of God happening right now. And the first thing that's going to happen is you're going to finally take the time to look around your life and go, oh my gosh, maybe I was misunderstanding things. Maybe I was being too hard on myself and too critical to really understand where I was. Uh-oh. Maybe I'm a lot farther along than I think in the areas that I thought I was, doing pretty bad in. And maybe the chance for me to really do what I was always meant to do is finally happening. Maybe that one time, that thing I thought was it wasn't actually it. And rather than being mean to myself, or being disappointed, being frustrated, being sad, being scared, I can start over. I can feel good. So this is really, really exciting because the first thing that's happening is we are clearing away what doesn't serve us. We're going through our house. I have this project that I've been wanting to work on for over a year. Okay. I've probably been wanting to do it for like ever. I even have like a list, that I've been, that was like, the process for the project has been done for like 5 years. Okay. I was supposed to do this thing a really long time ago, but I realized why I never properly, it's really just KonMariing my house, tidying my house. But I think the real reason I was never ready to do it before is because, 5 years ago, I was still in contact with my family, meaning I was holding on to a lot of junk out of guilt because my family, for some reason, knowing I was, what's that word? Not nostalgic, not superstitious, whatever. You guys know where I care. Sentimental, knowing that I have this sentimental, they would give me the stuff to hold on to, the junk, And so if I had tried to KonMari my house a few years ago, it wouldn't have worked. If I had tried to even do it, last year or the year before, where I maybe had separated and was able to clear things out that I didn't really love and didn't give me good, joyful feelings, well, I really don't think I was mentally prepared for where I was going. See, it's not until right now that I feel like I'm really prepared. And what's interesting is I finally figured out how to do it. Because before it was just a matter of just declutter, get rid of the stuff that you think you have too much of. But now it's shifted into preparing the aesthetic of my home. Now, that might sound like some of you are like, oh, cool. Some of you are like, whatever, Grace, why are you talking about this? And it's because the aesthetic, I've been trying to find the words to say it for a few years now, as I say it to even you guys, like, hey, ask yourself, does 2021, we'll speed this up, does 2021 you want that in their life? Does 2021 you wear that outfit, hang out with those friends, eat that type of food? But now I realize it's not just about, trying to step into the self, the future self. It's ushering in for my present self to begin to walk into it. See, I never had figured out how to bridge the gap. We're about to have that moment of bridging the gap. And you're about to have that moment where you think about the aesthetic. Have you ever noticed that your visions of the future are usually really light and airy and sweet and rich? Almost as if they have a certain filter over them, like a golden glamour filter or whatever. Have you ever noticed that your dreams, your good dreams of the future, are always colorful and lively? There's just a certain aesthetic to them that doesn't match now. It's because you have not yet realized that until you bridge the gap, this is why I constantly tell you, write it down, make a plan. Until you bridge the gap between who you are and where you want to be, you're never going to get there. You'll always see it. It'll always be within arm's reach, whether you believe it or not, but you'll never get there. Some of you, it has nothing to do with your house. Some of you, it has nothing to do with your outfits or your clothing. It has nothing to do with your car. Some of you, it has everything to do with that horrible, horrible attitude, or that terrible, critical way you talk to yourself, or that belief that you'll only be good enough to do X, Y, Z. See, these are the things that you have to look at. Everyone has their own thing that holds them back. And your job is to flow with whatever is being revealed to you so that you can move forward, so that you can move on, because you cannot go as fast as you're about to go with all this baggage weighing you down. There is a limit. There is a limit. So in the 5D, you guys know I call 5D squared, right? It's like the grid within which we operate. But then there's us in the spirit. And this part of us says, I'm on it. I'm tired of going slow. I'm trying to go fast. If you ain't first, you're last. Ricky Bobby. It's like, ha, Grace, you're so funny. Ha, I know, I'm hilarious, right? Me and Will Ferrell, same birthday. No, I'm just kidding. But seriously, like, dead serious. Too slow. That has been the problem for so long. And some of you are like, I know, I wasn't trying to go that slow. It's like, I understand you were trying to rush the process though. I'm agreeing with you. It was too slow. And now you cannot stay there out of, I don't want to say this, but this is what we do sometimes, out of spite. We say, no. Okay, you want me to slow down? Fine, I'll stop. Please understand, spirit will drag you. However you want to take that. Please understand that being childish, or even not necessarily childish, just being sorrowful, or, there's just certain extremes that you cannot afford to sit in to make yourself feel better right now. So if you've been given the chance to free yourself, freaking go with it. Don't let anyone stop you, including you. Why? Because the path has been prepared, and all you have to do now is clear the way. That's it. The path 11 in the 5D is prepared. The only thing you have to do, clear the way. 7 of Wands is the person fighting, denying that they have a good vantage point, focusing on all the negative stuff. Too many downloads. I can't make sense of it. There's too much happening, too many syncs, too many signs. I can't figure it out. This is you going through and clearing the way. This is you replacing the Brita filter or that pure filter you got on your sink. This is you getting out of your own way, but after you've gotten everything else out of the way too. This is the spirit of the warrior. I will cut off my own hand. Please don't cut off your own hand. I will cut off my own hand if it causes me to sin, if it causes me to do the wrong thing. I will no longer be able to tolerate anything, because I'm about to take the leap. This is full energy. Dreamer energy comes right after this. This is real. This is really important, guys. So I want to see how is divine going to show up? How are we going to receive it? And I think we're going to do this. What are the steps for our victory? Before we do that, let me get a message for the end here. Because, you know, we have 2021. I don't know if you guys have looked at into the energy or not. Again, you guys know me. I'm not really all about like fortune telling and future telling. I really don't vibe with that. Like, even with the very amazing ability that God has blessed me with, I refuse to go out and try to like win the lotto, or like, it's just stupid to me. There's no good intentions in that, right? But I do appreciate understanding energy, understanding how I'm supported, how I can work with. And if you are interested in that way, I hope that you will look at the 2021 energy, because what you're going to see is even down to just our health. There are so many new patterns that are coming through because new cycles are beginning. And it's leading also to the best partnerships of our life. See, it's the internal health that's going to assist in the external health. And we as light workers and twin flames and awakened beings are not the only ones who are going to be focusing on these areas. So this is a big thing, because it's also including people outside of the collective, really pouring into the entire human race. Very exciting. But the truth is, the only way that the twin flame collective would be able to go out and make headway with these people of this earth in this realm is if they were also working and they were open and they were ready. So this is your warning, divine feminine, that the people in your life who you may have written off, me too. Remember, I told you I don't even talk to my family. I'm assuming I'm never going to talk to them again. And yet, I don't know. Who knows? Anything could happen, because everyone on a collective scale is going to be trying to work to make sure that what happened in 2020 doesn't happen again, for whatever thing they've taken up as their cause. And now is the time where the divine feminine and masculine collective, 2 by 2, twin flames, will be heading out. This 2021 is the year of the messengers creating change. So what is it that we need to understand about how divine is going to send that energy out to where it permeates everything it touches? Wow. Page of Cups. You know what's funny? The Page of Cups is said to be Archangel Raphael from the Lovers incarnate, right? So interesting. But yet it's the divine feminine who's on this particular Page of Cups card, which to me says, divine feminine, your psychic abilities are going to be closer to your true self, your 5D self, than they ever have been before. You've been getting touches of that all year. 2020 was laying the foundation. That's why a lot of you have been feeling kind of staticky with your connection with Source. And it's not necessarily that you've gotten farther away. Some of you, yeah, right? Some of you know you've let your relationship slip and it was for whatever reason, right? But some of you know it's like, no, I've been trying to stay close. I've been trying. In fact, I think I did a pretty good job, but I still feel weird. Why do I feel like this? Why is it that even though I'm making the effort and whatever I do, praying and meditating or, whatever it is that I do, why is it that even though I've done all that, I still felt strange? It's because you were actually integrating. You were getting downloads, things that you didn't even know. It was like someone putting in extra code, right? So every time they plug you in, boop, okay, here's a little download. Here's some information for you. They were slipping in sleeper information. And again, this is where I say, I think God knows that we have been left in the dark about a lot of things for a long time. Part of which was to build our faith and our patience and our hope and all of that. But the other was because we wouldn't have understood it. And since we're nosy and we like to go deeper and we like to research, every time we got a download, we would try to understand it, even though we were supposed to just do what we were being instructed to do. But we ignore that. And we were trying to get like, what are these messages that I can't understand? And it's like, listen, Now the motherboard, the dots are all connecting and everything's going to start to make sense. And you're going to go, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my, whoa, 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 whoa. Because it's almost as if all those things that were being put into you were to allow you to expand enough for your 5D spirit to either come in fullness or at least send more of itself into you. So you should be feeling fuller. Your body should be feeling weird, which they always talk about that with a lot of the alignments. There's these things that it can do to you physically, right? Like everything kind of affects different parts of the body. So then when other things come, especially if it's a big alignment or a big conjunction or whatever you want to call it, you know, it really impact you. And so it's like, yeah, if you've been feeling crazy, don't be surprised, because this is exactly what you're supposed to be feeling as this new part of yourself. A new person enters your life. You don't know this level of you. I know that's going to sound weird. It's going to sound weird because you're like, how do I not know me? It's like the same way you don't know your divine masculine well enough to know what they really got going on, but that's another story. Don't stone me for that comment. Okay. So we see how is God going to send in the energy to support the collective, to support the divine feminine, to clear things away. And divine is sending you. Now it's funny. I used to tell Mr. Lightwork whenever I would do something to him, because Mr. Lightwork is real slick at the mouth, real slick. I would say to him, and he's also Mr. Devil's Advocate. He's an Aquarius. I think that's just something they do. But he would do it like even just because he was bored or just because he felt like being contrary. And so sometimes I would, knowing how he was going to respond to something, he's very smart. So if he knew how you were going to respond, he would kind of cut you off at the pass. So I would do that to him. And then I would tell him, oh, are you mad because I Mr. Lightworked you? And he'd smile and go, yes. It's like I knew him well enough to know what to do, what to say to get him to just do what he needed to do in that moment rather than being Mr. Technicality or trying, you know what I mean? Trying to pick it apart. He's really good at deflecting. Like he had all these things that he was good at, and me being his match, I was able to kind of work around it. Your inner self is about to come in and it's going to piss you off. If you are not prepared to love the new part of you that's about to fully integrate very soon, you're going to be very annoyed with yourself. And that is where you're going to lean even more into the self-critiquing and all that. Don't do that. If there are parts of yourself where for the first time you need help and then all of a sudden you have answers, go with it. Trust it. Listen to yourself. Even if yourself tells you things that you don't want to hear. Now, if yourself tells you to do something bad, you know, maybe pull back, might not be you. But if you kind of can tell that it's like a fiercer version of you and you're like, who are you talking to? It's like, I'm talking to you. I noticed that in the past few weeks, even though I have not posted a lot of readings, every single reading I've done since after the 11/11 portal has at least one or two people that comes in and says, I feel like you're speaking in code. It's because I am. I'm literally receiving downloads like this. If you're not getting them, either you don't mean, like you're not able to because they're not for you, or it's because I'm just another messenger from the same freaking person trying to tell you the same thing that you're being too stubborn to understand. So ask yourself, am I really talking in code? And one more thing, I had one person who's actually a client of mine tell me she didn't understand. And I was kind of confused because I'm like, she's brilliant. Why wouldn't she understand this? And then she tells me that she was trying to listen to the reading and do a freaking test that she turned in like 30 minutes late. So make sure that, because I never said this to her. So if you're listening, honey, hello, I'm talking to you. Make sure that before you tell yourself that you don't understand something, even if it's not one of my readings, just anything, stop trying to do too many things at once. Stop letting tarot become just entertainment in the background, but then treating those random background messages you get like it's God. You can't do both. Figure out what you're really doing here, okay? But anyways, if you're not getting the message right now, probably click off. Go ahead and go. I'm not mad at you. It's just, this might not be the time, or this might not be the message, or I might not be the reader. But I'm letting you know right now, the part of you that's coming, that's really already in you and is just, I think, making the last few little connections in there, like with the little headlight on, like watching, like, oh, soldering things inside and all that. Whoever this is about to be, you are going to love this person unless you hate them first. Be prepared. Ask yourself, What do I need most for myself? What parts of myself, of my, again, thinking about that 2021 aesthetic. Not only what does that person wear, what do they eat, who do they hang out with, but how do they think? How do they speak? What are their gifts and their powers? Very exciting, very good news. A little bit nerve-wracking. It's like going to pick someone up at the airport. Okay? It is. It's that feeling of making sure your house is in order, making sure everything's ready for them, but also knowing, like, you can't really hide anything from yourself. You know what I mean? Yourself is going to know exactly where to go look for that medicine that you hid behind the other stuff in the, so it's like there is a little bit of a nerve-wracking. It's like, this is going to sound crazy, but it's almost as if your mom is coming. And it kind of is going to feel like that. Some of you might need to listen. That's a word for me, because y'all know how I am with my mom. My mom basically gave up on being my mom when I was like 6. My mom didn't really like you after you turned 6. That's why she had a baby every 6 years. And so, it's weird to say that, but it's like, how many of you are going to treat your higher self that comes in the same way you might treat your mother or your mother-in-law, or right, someone that knows you well, but that you really don't like to engage with? Some of you need to ask yourself, has your self-care routine and your self-love routine been lacking because you really don't love yourself as much as you think? There's a lot of messages in here. Let's keep going. So, new person comes in, the relationship begins a new phase. See, I left that part out, but it's because I cannot convince you of that. If you don't believe that your relationship is about to begin a new phase, okay, cool. But I can tell you that your new self it's really just you, but it's going to feel new, and it's going to bring about an awareness like you've never experienced. And if you've been feeling a little bit disconnected, it was simply because all the messages you needed to make it clear were not there. And when they get there, you're going to look back at 2020, you're going to go, oh my gosh. One last little message I'm going to tell you. 2 things happened back to back the other day. One day, it happened a couple weeks ago, actually, now that I think about it. Mr. Lightwork and our son, they were painting. And of course, our son being 6 got paint literally just all over himself. It didn't matter that he wasn't finger painting, right? So just, being a normal kid, we had everything set up. There was no worries about that. It's all ready to be cleaned up afterwards. Cool. Well, a water main broke in our city within like an hour of us starting this project. And so, not even knowing this was going to happen, I had just finished, I use vinegar as my softener. It's fabric softener in the washing machine. Not even knowing that any of this was going to happen, when I finished the bottle of vinegar, I said, oh, you know what? I'm going to fill this bottle up and I'm going to use it as dishwater if anything goes crazy over the next few months. There was literally just a tornado yesterday, the day before, down the street from us. So like, you just never know, right? So I filled up this bottle of water from the vinegar container that I'd been using, and I go and I put it away, and I just move on with my life. No less than an hour later, the freaking water's off, and if we had not had this jug of vinegar, our son would have been covered in paint for hours. The water was off for hours. God, within moments of something happening, was like, hey, I'm going to have it set up that you finish the bottle, because if I hadn't finished the bottle of vinegar, why would I have filled it up? So I'm going to have it set up, but way beforehand that you finish it. Now, mind you, some of you might go, well, Grace, that sounds like cool. Glad you got that download. Here's what you guys don't know. That was right around the time where our son was taken from our home to be somewhere else so he could be closer to his mom. And Mr. Lightwork kept saying the whole time his son was here, prepare for rain, prepare for rain, prepare for rain. And it was like within a few hours of that happening, everything was set in motion. All the things we've been stressing, everything was just crazy. So then another week goes by, and I'm talking with my clients and my long-term coaching clients, because I'm closing out all these coaching contracts with people. And I'm talking to them and I'm saying, listen, right now is a time of instant manifestation. It's really important that you watch your mouth. It's really important that you be careful what you ask for, what you wish for. I randomly said to someone, we're not doing really Christmas this year just because like the income, like we don't do Christmas anyways. We're Messianic, but we're not doing gifts this year just because we can't. And I said, even if I could, I don't have anything that would make it look like Christmassy, holiday-y. When I tell y'all the next, see, y'all not gonna believe me. I'm gonna just grab it. It'll take me 2 seconds and I'm done, I promise. I gotta fold this part because it has the name of my complex on it. But guess what showed up outside my door? My apartment complex gave us wrapping paper. My point that I was making was that it wouldn't really make any sense to do gifts because it would just be like, here's your gift, right? We don't have any wrapping paper. And then the wrapping paper shows up. Again, we're probably still not gonna do gifts, but do you see my point? It's like, just in case you need it, you're being provided with the things that are going to come in and almost feel like crucial or critical. And then even if you don't, sometimes they just want to make you smile. That was God saying to me, you don't know what the rest of this year is going to look like. You don't know what I might send your way. Just relax. I got you. Anything you need, if you even just think you need it, and I agree, I'm going to give it to you. So please, when I say to you that things are really falling into place, things are shifting dramatically to the point of instant manifestation, instant miracle, it's happening. Divine Feminine, look at your life for the past 12 days and the past 12 months. If you cannot write down 10 miracles, it's because you're not looking. What do we need to understand is happening in the 5D? The moon. Okay. Heightened psychic abilities. Ooh, my energy is spiking here. Heightened psychic abilities, we get the moon. Again, what did we see before? We saw, I split this. And it came up King of freaking Swords. Holy crap. I was about to pick this up and show you that it was King of Swords and Knight of Swords. Or, I'm sorry, Queen of Swords and Knight of Swords, right? We saw the flow. And now we see what? Page of Cups, the moon. Heightened psychic abilities is on both of these cards. Real quick, show me the moon. Show me the moon. Okay. The angels sent you this card because this is a powerful time of intuition and psychic ability. However, your greatest insights will be about yourself. What I'm trying to tell you something, Divine Feminine. Something's happening right now. Embrace this period of self-awareness to overcome past blocks that have held you back. Awaken to deep truths about yourself that you've kept hidden. Let me just make sure you understand what this says. Awaken to truths about yourself that you've kept hidden. That you've kept hidden. See, some of y'all are still not going to get it. And see your brilliant light. Okay. Okay. Do you want to know how to have the best partnerships of your life moving forward? Look within yourself, because they're there. Everything you've ever wanted to give, everything you've ever wanted to show, everything you've ever wanted to pour into someone else, go back and check yourself and ask yourself, where have you held back? Where have you hidden those things? Where have you assumed that people in your life wouldn't accept you for this, or this? And yet again, I'm getting this sense of you need to look back to 2018, back to 2019, because those 2 years, you might think, oh, it's Grace, you're just saying that, or no, I'm not. I am not. I don't just say anything, okay? Unless they're great freaking high quality jokes, okay? You will get that from me. All right, but for real, I don't just say anything. Something happened. Something was started in you. I'm going to tell you to think back to that Capricorn Cancer eclipse cycle that really that energy is finally fading. I believe with the Cancer moon that's coming, we'll finally be done with that. Okay. So what is it? What happened to you? What have you experienced? And what is it that you don't want to reveal, to open up, to share, to give, to provide? What do you think isn't good enough, isn't worth anything? Something very, very important is about to come through. Something very, very important is about to come through. And what you figure out about 2018 and 2019 will click for your 2020. It will click for your 2020. And it will happen before 2020 is over. And in 2021, you will never be the same. And I'm talking about day one of 2021. You might come into the last week of 2020 and you will never be the same. Something is going to happen. And it's not something that I think you're going to go out and do. It's really the revelation. It's really seeing that those places that you thought you were vulnerable was your biggest strength. It's really looking at how the little things in your life are the big things that make you everything you are. So, okay. How can we have the best partnerships of our life? What is it that we can do to bring in the best health of our life? What are these new patterns? Where does our mind need to be to support this amazing, insightful period? How can we be our best? What do we need to be thinking about? 5 of Wands, grow up. These conflicting ideas that you have, pick one and choose, go. No more questions, no more wishy-washy. No more wishy-washy, divine feminine. Enough is enough. Choose, go for it. Create your opulent life. See, what you're not understanding is that the holding back that you're doing because of immaturity issues, which don't worry, those will be rectified. You will have everything you need by the end of this year. Your true, real, whole, full self that has not yet been tainted because it's just getting here. Don't worry, you'll get another upgrade, right? You'll get another upgrade soon. You might get one in a week. You might get one in a few years. I don't know when, but this upgrade is going to rectify a lot of the immaturity. Okay, don't worry. But you still have to remember that just because the new person is here doesn't mean the old person isn't in there still. Doesn't mean that the habits aren't still there. It's like taking over for someone who got fired, but you still have to do your job and their job. Soon we'll figure it out and we'll make this into one position like we do in this capitalist society, you know. we'll turn it into one position that makes sense. But until then, it's going to feel crazy. It's going to feel really weird. And if you're taking over for a higher level person, not only do you have to show that you can handle the low vibrational, low work, the silly stuff, the tedious nonsense, all the stuff that you did before, but also the work of the CEO. You have to show them you can do everything, anything. And you know how you do that? You get rid of anything that's going to stop you mentally from succeeding. 1111. Why? I have not looked at my phone this whole time. What is this about? Okay, it's 1111. It opens to the 10 of Wands. Okay, hold on, because this is a message. It says, a good first step is being willing to accept assistance for others. There's hope for a successful resolution to the situation or project. But it's best if you cut unnecessary or burdensome activities from your schedule, slow your pace to a more comfortable level. So the message here about the integrating 2 different jobs, I think, is really real here. But now let's go 5 of Wands. Other people around you hold different goals and values, and there's disagreements about how to proceed along with the clash of wills. This is why you need to rid yourself of anyone who does not belong. Anyone who has not earned the right to be in your presence has got to go, including work, friends, family, any other people. I don't know what other people. Success is still possible, but it takes great effort. You may enjoy this type of challenge or it may exhaust you. But this is a competitive situation, okay? So there is a need for clarity in order to come to a resolution. So it's interesting because back here, now this opened to the Queen of Wands. What do you want me to know? You'll naturally attract other people to assist you. Believe in all that you can do and accomplish. Hold on, back to the 10. But it does. It says there is hope for a successful resolution. See, there's hope for a successful resolution. But you will need clarity in order to get there. And I believe the clarity is with the conflicting mind. Okay. One last thing. I'm being led, I don't know why, but I'm being led to look at the 6 of Swords. Let me go to 6 of Swords real quick. What's in the book? What do you want? What do you want me to say here? Okay. This is important. Listen, with all that being said, if you, oh, thank you, Shannon. You guys, whenever you guys donate, Just thank you, especially to a live reading. If I don't see it, please know I appreciate you, and please email me at thefierygrace@gmail.com. Okay. Seeing the 5 of Wands here and everything that goes along with that, there is a bit of like a, come on, you got to make some choices, you got to make some tough decisions. This is about the legacy, this is about your kingdom, this is not just about the moment, or no. So those messages are important, but here's what you really need to understand. Things are looking up. The worst is now behind you. There's finally light at the end of the tunnel, and stress and strain fade from your life. This is a good time for making, listen. This is a good time for making changes in your career, your home, or your outlook. And the resolution of a conflict. Okay. I don't know what because this is a card of internal conflict. I don't know what internal conflict you got going on, but if there is external conflict, your internal conflict is exacerbating those nonsensical issues. So please do yourself a favor. Get your mind right. Solve those unsolvable problems. If you feel like you cannot solve them yet, go get clarity and do it again. Some of you will watch and y'all have mastered the art of the keyword search of, what does my DM want to say to me October 2020? You're right. You guys know exactly how to get the message you need for the reading to come up. But when's the last time you looked up how to be a better parent, how to be a better person, how to be a better spouse, how to be a better friend, how to cook, how to clean, how to write? When was the last time you spent any time? Some of you can say, I do it a lot. Okay, good. You move to the side, step aside, right? You know the exercise where they have people stand in a line and they say, step forward if you've done this, step forward if you've done that. Okay, y'all are amazing. Move. I'm talking to who's left. I'm talking to the people who are disappointed in themselves that they could not take one step forward with the group. Because in that moment when you're left standing at the starting line and you look around and realize how many of you are there, it can feel kind of good. Like, okay, good. I'm not too bad, right? Because there's other people. No, don't look at who's with you on the line. Look at who's in front of you. Look at how tired they look. Look at how exhausted they look. But look at the light in their eyes. Look at the joy that just comes off of their aura. Those people may be scared and tired. The one thing that they did was they took a freaking step. And it recharged them in a way they were not expecting. All I'm asking you to do is take a step forward, okay? All I'm asking you to do is take one step, then another, then another, then another. But don't worry about the others. Just take the first one. We need you. You know what I'm saying? We need you. I'm not telling everyone who stepped away to look at the people at the starting line and go, yeah, what are you doing? I'm telling you guys at the starting line to look at the people around you. Look at the love in their eyes when they stare at you with a smile. And they say, I know you can do this. There is not a single person in this collective who deep down in their heart wishes anything bad against anybody, even their worst enemies. How much would they love you knowing that you have dealt with the same things they have? Don't you know what I'm saying? You have a special heart. That's how we get causes and advocates. I'm mixed. And so one of the things that I advocate for the most is studying and learning more about mixed, biracial, multiracial, multi-ethnic families and children and individuals. It's not studied enough. We deal with a lot of crap. I got that cause and wanting to be that because it's what I went through. And when I look at an older mixed person who was like, honey, when I was born, at least you could go to school and do the regulars. When I was born, that person looks at me with love. Not just for what they know I'm going to do and push forward and endure, but because of what I've already been through. They've been there. I'm not saying any of the things I'm saying to you right now to make you feel bad. I'm saying I've been there. I've been terrified to take the leap, terrified to take even a baby step. I've obsessed over people, obsessed over crazy thoughts. I've had depression and anxiety. I've literally been everywhere. And I'm looking at you who feel connected to me because you say, yeah, me too, Grace. And I'm telling you, I love you. And I'm proud of you for everything you've done. And I think you might have missed a message. That's all. I know sometimes my messages hurt because I'm the only one who will say them. But I'm the big sister and the cousin and the whoever that always gets the phone call from the person who knows exactly what I'm going to say. That's why you guys keep ordering services from me. You know what I'm going to tell you. You want to hear me say it anyways. Here I am. I love you. Grow up. Whatever that means to you, do it. And if your first instinct is to say, how dare you talk to me like that? Go away then. Because I'm not a reader who's just going to sit back and not tell you that. Grow up, okay? We have to. We all have to. Don't worry. I'm going to get my little spirit slap when I come back and listen to this. Emotionally. Because obviously, this is stemming from somewhere here, all right? What we need to know. Oh, it's because you haven't been pursuing your dreams. Are you really surprised? Are you really surprised in this backward 9 to 5 you've been living? You're not happy. You're just admit it. And stop letting people tell you that you're wrong for saying that. Oh, you be grateful. That's not necessarily what grateful means. You can be grateful for where you're at and also say that God has sent a spirit of discontent upon me because this was beautiful for the moment, but it is now no longer enough and I'm going to pursue more. More doesn't have to be tangible. It could be more love. It can be more grace. It can be more grace. You know, it could be whatever, but the work you've been putting in for however long you feel like you've been doing this has not been yielding good fruit and you're just tired. And it's not, you're not happy when you're tired. So grab a Snickers, am I right? Not a sponsor. So I want you to look at this and ask yourself, if God gives me the desires of my heart, but I have been unable to pursue the desires of my heart, what does that mean for me and how I see God, right? How do I see God, source, spirit, universe, if I feel like the creator of all doesn't want me to be happy? See, it's not, that says, you know what I mean? Like, it sounds crazy because it is. It doesn't work that way. I've yet to meet anyone who would ever come to me and say, actually, in my religion, our God hates us. I'm still waiting. I always say, please, I'd love to know so that I can say, hey, if you're, from the God haterade people, then this message doesn't apply to you. This isn't going to resonate for God haterators. But for those of you who, you know what I mean? So I want you to get to this place where you look at your dreams, you look at your goals, you look at your aspirations, you look at the very desires that you have, and you ask yourself, what have I been missing out on? And what have I been kind of maybe pointing fingers for that missing out? Where really it's something I've probably been hiding from the world. Some of you want so badly to do what I do, but won't make a YouTube channel. Oops, ouch. Okay, I'm sorry. Let me pet you. I'm sorry. I know that hurt. I'm sorry, but the truth is I have no pity for you. I have no pity for anyone who says they want to be a YouTuber or like a blogger or anything like that and won't just start. I don't care if you shy. I don't care if you think you poor. If you got a phone where you could where you could watch me on YouTube, you could probably got something where you could record something. Even if it's just a freaking podcast and it's all audio, I don't care. If you want to do something in the digital age and you still haven't done it, I don't feel bad for you. I don't. I'm not being mean. I'm being real. The desires that you have in many cases are closer than they appear, right? Because we're not actually taking the time to take the step to do the first thing, to do the research, to how do I start a YouTube channel? And no, we don't do these things. We sit back and we complain and we look around at the world and we go, well, where is this? Some of us won't pursue our desires and our dreams because it's our divine masculine has become goal number one. Some of us need to realize, oh my gosh, that was supposed to be a blessing and I freaking tainted it. I'm gonna speak real. For the first year that Mr. Lightwork is in my life, I totally messed that up. I messed it up bad. He being me being a person that's always been very like, when I love hard, I fall hard, I have crushes on people for years at a time, and I'm like celibate for it. Like that's how I love, right? I meet Mr. Lightwork. He's inspired me to do all these things. And you know what I do? I freaking obsess over him. It wasn't until I just let it go and I just said, I can't do this anymore. It's driving me crazy. And I focused on impressing him. I know that sounds weird, but it's the truth. A lot of the things that I was doing as a light worker in the first 6 months of my business before I really got to know you guys and had a connection and felt a reason to post and all that, I was just doing because Mr. Lightwork thought it was sexy. See, some of you guys got sent your divine masculine over the last couple of years because it was going to be the only thing in the entire freaking world that would inspire you to get your shit together. And you wasted it. I just had to let that sit for a second because I know some of y'all are going, "Ugh, Grace, please, I can't breathe." All right, last thing. What is the most crucial 3D message for the Divine Feminine Collective here? What is the most crucial message, the most important new pattern that needs to be established by the Divine Feminine Collective? 10 of Swords. You need to stop letting me and anyone else tell you that your ego death is complete and that you're never going to have that problem again. And it's all your divine masculine. You're not the only one. But you know what the new pattern really says here is it's not that your ego's the problem. You've been doing a really good job making your ego real small. You've been doing a good job. But you allow that little voice. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Some of you guys have to see what I'm talking about. Are you ready for this? Okay. Okay. Some of you guys saw this meme. All right. And it says, "Be kind to everyone." Wait, even Gary? Yeah, Gary's the worst. Look, we've been through this. Yes, be kind to Gary as well. Suck it. Not now, Gary. All right. Okay. I just wanted to have a moment with that. So why did I just show you that? Because you have 5,000 parts of yourself, all of which are trying to support you and be positive and love you. And then you've got a little Gary in the back of your head. That's your ego. Talking about, yes, suck it. You're never going to be great. This is a stupid plan. Why are you even bothering? Oh, you really think that you're good enough to get a level up? You have one little small part of yourself talking trash in the back of the freaking room, and you keep listening to it. I'm just saying, you know what? To me, it's the equivalent of this. It's the equivalent of when I get in my feelings about people trolling me. Look, people, there are people who literally make it their life's work to troll people. They create channels and pages to show others how they've been trolling, right? There are people out there who do that, and I know that. So I really don't let trolling get to me, except for when I do. And you know what I hear? I have 25,000 subscribers who are like, "We love you, you're amazing." And then the one troll, "Tarot cards are stupid." Shut up, troll. And it's like, okay, relax, don't worry about it. Yes, Grace, keep going, please. We need a video, post a video. Oh my gosh, you talk about Mr. Lightwork obsessively. Shut up. I do not. And it's you keep letting one thing, one little wrench in the plan, one little problem, one little voice, one little part of yourself, whatever it is, one little thing make you lose your freaking mind. So get yourself together, because the ego isn't really the problem. You're doing a pretty good job with it. The problem is what you allow, what remains in you to say and do and dictate in your life, okay? Do you want to know? You know what? Since we've been in the book, let's go to the book. Let's go to the book, everyone. Where are you? Where are you? Come back here. Fire, water, air. Thank you. Okay, you ready? You want to know what this means? Here's the new pattern you need to develop. This situation has ended. So that's first part of the pattern is stop going into the pattern of believing that things will never get better. Okay? Fortunately, endings are always followed by new beginnings. See, there's something in you that's been lying to you and telling you that endings just bring more endings, and then it's never going to end, and it's all bad, and lies. Lies. That's a bad pattern. It says you may feel sadness over what transpired mixed with some welcome relief. It's time to walk away and embrace the dawning of a new day. Expect your circumstances to improve. You see, you don't like when you feel good. This is going to sound weird, but you don't like when you feel good and feel relieved when a situation ends. You don't like it. You feel guilty because you always find something to feel guilty about. You always find something to worry about. And instead of just embracing this time for what it is, the end, you're about to carry the same old energy into the new cycle. It may be time to change your career. Okay, how many messages are we going to get about this? Lightworkers, hello. Perhaps you've completed a long-term project or decided to pursue other employment. Oh, interesting how we were talking about completing projects throughout this. How we needed clarity. We needed, oh, well, maybe the clarity has come. Don't put limits on the wonderful things the universe can bestow. Cast your net wide and see what fantastic opportunities you might catch. Huge goosebumps all over the body. Nowhere to go but up. Recovery from an addiction. A melodramatic reaction. Enough with the melodrama. Your life is not Grey's Anatomy. Your life is not Scandal. Your life is not How to Get Away with Murder. Help me. What's some more shows? Your life is not This Is Us. Okay, obviously I don't have cable and I don't watch TV, so I'm naming shows that from years ago. So you just deal with it. Your life is not Days of Our Lives. Your life is a beautiful, powerful testimony of the goodness of the universe. Pick one, because you cannot be both. You cannot have the scandal life and also be at peace. Do you understand? You cannot continue to consume the things that they put for us on this television or on the YouTubes and all the places and not guard your spirit and your soul enough to know that that's not your life. That's supposed to be entertainment. That's supposed to be an escape. Some of y'all need to stop watching TV so much because you've escaped the 3D and the 5D. You live in the freaking Hollywood film world. You don't even live in the real world, but that's another story. So please, allow yourself to go with the flow of positive, supportive energy from a God, source, spirit, universe, whatever you believe in, that loves you and wants you to do well, that has a plan for you, that has set things up for this time, and would do something as nice for you as have you fill up a jug of water before a freaking water outage, just to make sure you know how loved you are. Come on, guys. So, final message. We already saw this, actually. King of Swords shows up. Speak your mind with confidence. Seek out professional advice. Balance mental and emotional considerations. I'm so emotional, y'all. I'm so emotional. Why? Ha! I told you. And it's a sync. Because there are unexpected opportunities, and it's going to require you to take a leap so that you can follow those dreams that you've been hiding and ignoring. How is this going to play out? How is this completion energy coming through? Oh, talk about freaking completion. It's the world. This is job well done. You've completed the project. You've had a successful time. We're proud of you. You've manifested the things that you started 2 years ago, 3 years ago. They're finally showing up in your life. You're doing fantastic. And you're holding the torch for both you and your twin, because you're no longer going to be bitter about that. You're no longer going to be upset about that. Why? Because you see this 21, 2 plus 1 is 3. You're no longer brokenhearted. Your heart was broken because you weren't able to pursue your dreams. And unfortunately, when you finally just latched all your dreams onto union, oh my gosh, you felt even more heartbroken, because then your divine masculine wasn't just keeping you from them, they were keeping you from the rest of your life, because someone lied to you, or you lied to yourself and said that your light work and union are equally connected. No, they're not. No, your divine masculine is not keeping you from anything. And some of you needed to hear that right now, because you didn't realize that you were mad at them. You didn't think you would. Why would you be mad at them? It's like you're frustrated right now because of this misconstrued understanding that you have. And now you don't have to feel that anymore. Final message in the 3D. 10 of Wands. I'm sorry, but this is just crazy. The fact that it showed up and it let us know, we already read it. But you know what stands out? The fact that 10 of Wands, did I say something else? It's 10 of Wands. 10 of Wands talks about health-related stress, or stress-related health concerns. Most of the yucky stuff that happens in terms of the causes of death in America lead from some sort of stress, whether it's causes of death or just causes of ailments. It's stress. A lot of it is tied to stress. And to see that the divine feminine is finally doing what it takes to relieve the stress, to release the nonsense, clear out the old, bring balance to their life. I don't know. I'm just like really excited. I'm also telling you that this means you have to pick one thing, okay? Pick one. Don't try to hold on to all 10. I don't know who needs to hear that, but there's something you're already trying to figure out all of it at once. Remember what I said, one step at a time is perfectly fine, just to get yourself going. Why? Because your time is now. Do you understand? Your time is now. Your time is now, and it's going to feel vulnerable and it's going to be a little bit scary, but it is going to be one of the most incredible times of your life. You just have to walk into it, okay? All right. This was awesome. I went a little longer than I expected, and I'm actually a few minutes late for a call, but I see that you're here, so I know that you know what's happening. So I love you. I am going to be back a lot more late in the next few weeks because, like I said, I do want to be there for you. So if you're watching this, you're here all the way at the end. If you could leave a question or a comment or anything you want me to expand on in a reading in the future, I'd love to really directly address things from the collective, from collective requests. So my energy is kind of, I don't know if you can see me. Sometimes I don't think you guys can see me, but sometimes you can. But I feel like really amazing right now. And I think that it's because there's so much that this reading is going to help lift off of people and help them get off the ground, finally take the leap, end up realizing they can fly. I'm just excited. And it's excited. And it's not because it's me. It's not because I'm so special and amazing. Ooh, look at me, I'm Grace. It's because I'm doing my job. I'm telling you guys what I see or what I hear, and you guys are actually listening. So it's not even about me. It's actually about you. It's about what you've decided to do today. So if I were you, I would take some time after you've been, here for this very entertaining, enjoyable experience with Grace, if that's what you felt. And I want you to grab a piece of paper and a pencil, and I want you to write down as quick as you can, whatever notes, whatever downloads, whatever came to you at the top part of your page, and in the bottom part of your page, I want you to just write down anything. You could write a couple affirmations, you could write a little note to yourself, you could write a note to your divine masculine, you could write a note to God, divine source, spirit, universe. You can do whatever you need to do, but I want you to be really intentional about the information you just received and ask yourself what it means to you, because every single divine feminine receiving this they're going to experience it a different way. But if we all can make sure that we integrate it and we prepare, maybe you can write a welcome note to yourself, your leveled up self. But whatever it is, I think all of us need to make sure that we do something on purpose here and have some intention behind the positive energy and the supportive energy that's flowing, so we can be a part of this with each other and help all of us expand. Okay? If the divine feminine collective is a ball like this right now, and every single one of us is about to expand, the more that we support each other, even if just in positive attitude and prayer and whatever, right? Anything, or just working on ourselves, think about how much more expansive we will become. Okay? So be prepared, because whatever we become, the divine masculine collective will match. So be ready. Be your best. Okay? All right. I'm out of here for real. I love you. I'm going to call you in a second. Bye.